California Spring Trials is Fashion Week for our industry, or maybe you can think of it like the auto show. A chance to see many of the coolest new products available for upcoming seasons. Dozens of global breeding companies and innovative plant introduction companies set up along the California coast in early spring to showcase new crops that have been in development for years, even decades. New series, additions, upgrades, and sometimes brand new plants are grown out and discussed in detail for the better part of a week to drive interest from visiting growers, retailers, and distribution companies. It's also a time to catch up with old friends, solidify strategic partnerships, and revel in the beauty created by our industry. We've done this for decades and we'll do it again in 2026 from March 24th to 27th. Registration is managed by the National Garden Bureau, and you can sign up to secure your spot at caspringtrials.us. In fact, registration is essential. A quick reminder before we get started. New for this year, if you're visiting a location with more than one exhibiting company, like most of them, registration by location means you register for all companies when you schedule your appointment at caspringtrials.us. But be sure to allocate plenty of time for stops with multiple companies. One click doesn't mean one quick visit. Take, for example, the Head Start Nursery Stop or the Santa Barbara Polo Club. You can register for the location, but you'll need to allocate time for all of the exhibiting companies, and that can mean as many as 100 new varieties. Last but not least, check out the suggested itineraries at caspringtrials.us. If 2026 will be your first time visiting the trials, or you haven't been in a few years, they will be very helpful. Let's hear about some of the things you'll see and experience at Spring Trials this year. I'm your host, Bill Calkins, and today, as part of our cast preview mini-series, I'm here with Bart Hayes from Westhoff to hear about what the company has in store for us this March. This will be a quick conversation, but the goal is to inspire you to register and start thinking ahead as you plan your crop mix for the future. Bart, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Bill. I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, I know just for the years of coming to Spring Trials and seeing what Westhoff has, that you guys generate a lot of excitement, and we're never quite sure what we're going to see, but we know it's going to be wild, and every trial site is unique. So where are you guys located? Where do you exhibit? And what's kind of the general vibe of your stop, if you can explain that?
Well, it's actually... I'm biased, of course, but I think it's the coolest stop. We're on the south end. Actually, the first stop, if you're coming up from LA, we exhibit at the Greenfuse location alongside Beacon Camp, Him Genetics, Greenfuse, of course, QCT, and I'm forgetting somebody else, but they're in there. It's a great stop, really relaxed. We all get along really well. That's the nice thing about this industry is we're all competitors, but very friendly competitors. And I think that the companies kind of complement each other. We each have our own, core audience that we focus on. And so we're able to kind of, dip into those other groups that come through and expand our footprint and really get a broad swath. But overall, it's just really laid back. The Greenfuse team, Jim and his team are great hosts, and Jim's super cool, as everybody knows who's ever met him. Great hair. The Beacon Camp folks are really, really easy to be around and really easy to work with. I love the ladies at QCT. They're one of our licensees, so that really dovetailed well for us. Yep. And the Him guys are super. Oh, Schoneveld. Schoneveld's in there.
Schoneveld, there you go. Yeah.
It's Kathy, and Kathy's just the best. She's the best of all of us. So it's really pleasurable, frankly. I spend a lot of time doing trade shows. I spend a lot of time traveling. California is cool and laid back, and our Spring Trials location really kind of leans into that. So it's a great stop.
I totally agree, and I get that vibe every time I'm there. Definitely. I think you definitely explained that well for folks who may not have been there before and are planning to go in the future. Do you have a theme for this year that you're willing to tease, or is that a tightly kept secret?
No. I mean, these aren't nuclear secrets, and we want people to come out and be part of it. When Greenfuse moved their location from Santa Paula over to Somas, they bought an old lemon grove, which is still there. They just cut down some trees and put up greenhouses and a laboratory. So it's feeling grovey. It's kind of that, once upon a time in Hollywood, 70s, cool California vibe that we're going for this year, which is real easy to accomplish because, I don't know, everybody there is very cool. And so you'll see some, 70s inspired themes, lots of paisleys and, beaded curtains and such. So.
Oh, that's cool. And it literally is in a lemon grove. You can pick lemons as you're walking from your car to the first greenhouse.
Yeah, and Jim's beautiful wife, Sarah, she always makes some really high quality lemonade, fresh every day. And it's an undertaking. She makes a lot of lemonade.
No, that's good. And so don't miss out on the lemonade. But looking back to last year, and you guys had a wide range of new varieties and new offerings, and certainly across all the exhibiting companies at Greenfuse, there was a ton. But thinking about what Westhoff had in 2025 at the trials, what was one big hit?
The easiest one to touch on would be our new orange petunia, Petunia Inferno, the orange, which was, this is a little bit of how the sausage is made, so forgive me, but typically we like to give our products a full year of introduction so that we can send out trials, we can present them to growers before they're market ready, so that there's ample time for folks to see that the plants perform before they have to commit to buying a couple trays from their favorite propagator or unrooted cuttings from one of our farms. And the orange was an experimental variety. But, we had it in the laboratory. It was clean. And as soon as my boss, Christian Westhoff, as soon as he saw it in California, he immediately decided this has to be introduced. To the point where I didn't even have tags made for it. If you recall, I just watched.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, you had written on a written tag,
it was handwritten on the orange. And as a marketing professional, that rubs me the wrong way. Like, I want tags and I want branding and all this stuff. But the plant spoke for itself. There's no other better description than it's orange. Like Pantone orange.
Yeah.
And so we were very excited about showing it. So we did, and it got a lot of feedback.
For sure.
Ever since we brought back orange petunias to the market, there haven't been many available. Other breeding companies are more than welcome to introduce it. We don't have any protection on it or anything. It was something that was brought back into the industry as a whole. And the challenge is that the breeding of it is difficult. And so we don't have a lot of oranges that pop up. And when they do, they have to be better than the previous oranges. Right. And so we had it on our radar that, people are looking for it, but, we have to keep our eyes open and look for good plants. And the orange just ticked all the boxes. It was a shoo-in. So
it was stunning. It was stunning. I remember you had it on a pedestal. It was as orange could get. That was
and of course, again, I'll get my violin out and play it, but the feedback was so strong, I had to scramble to get cuttings to trial gardens. I think I got it to a couple of the gardens up in Michigan. I got it to I think Lucas's trial. We trialed it as extensively as we could, given the fact that we weren't planning to introduce it. It performed really well. And the sales have followed it this year. So it's how it sometimes works out. It's just like lightning in a bottle. You just have to try and catch it.
Well, and you guys know petunias and calibrachoas, so I would imagine that bringing it to market, you were pretty confident even before you saw it in extensive field trials across, or showed it off to potential customers in field trials across the country. You guys aren't going to introduce a petunia or calibrachoa that you're not fairly confident in, right?
No. Well, and the breeding has been elevated. We're not in the ragtag days of the 90s where this new vegetative item might be amazing or it might not be.
No,
Like
it's very true.
the breeding, and not just for Westhoff, but I think all breeders in general have raised the bar. So the products that we're putting out there are all pretty good.
Yeah.
The only caveat is, you want to trial it extensively because, it has to grow well in Seattle and in Miami.
True.
And so it's about collecting, we like to use the North American trial locations to kind of, proof the pudding, so to speak.
No,
but yeah, when we put it out, we're pretty sure it's going to grow well in, most climates. But yeah, the orange was, the breeding behind it was really good. The color was very clear. And yeah, so far the trial results have been very promising. So
awesome. Love to hear about a rock star like that.
Oh yeah.
So can you tell the listeners a little bit about what it takes to put on an event like this and what you think attendees will gain from visiting your site, especially if they haven't visited before or if they haven't come to spring trials in a while?
Yeah. As far as planning, it's our most important event in North America.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's one of our top 2 events in the world. Maybe top 3. But I would say definitely it's our chance to showcase our products under very good growing conditions at a time of year when growers need to see it. And we really try to take advantage of it. We invest a lot of time and energy into, not just showing a living catalog where it's every single thing that we produce. We really try and focus on what's timely. Last year we focused a lot on cart programs because we know that, in times of economic uncertainty, there's a little bit of shrinkflation. And so people will continue buying our products, but maybe in a smaller pot size. And so we wanted to showcase that our products are well suited for that. And so, again, that's something important that we need to convey to growers specifically that, hey, our products are not just beautiful in the garden, but grower friendly as well.
Right. And
so that's part of the messaging behind spring trials. Also, because we put so much effort into it, it's a rare opportunity to see a fairly wide selection of our best products.
Yeah.
And so, I think it behooves growers to, it's never convenient to go to California for a week. It's not. Right. It's way out on the edge of America, and it's, whether it's during the growing season or whether it's when things are, dead and you're just sweeping greenhouses. Yeah, it's a lot. But what you get from your visits, not just at Westhoff, but up and down the coast, is a chance to really get a snapshot of our industry as it is, like right now.
Right.
And so I think that's invaluable.
Totally agree. All right. Before we wrap up, the question everyone tuned in for,
yes.
Can you shout out a couple of the new varieties that the Westhoff team is most excited to put on display at Spring Trials 2026, or just a quick sneak preview, however you want to approach it?
Yeah. We have I think it was last year. No, it was the year before last, 2024. We rolled out a novelty Calibrachoa program.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very well known for crazy petunias, right? And it's a novelty petunia program. It's huge, and there's something for everybody in there, right? And it really helps generate interest in our products, not just Westhoff products, but garden products in general, because it's cool and interesting. And so we wanted to apply that to Calibrachoa. And so we came out with the Cali Loco series. And it's Calibrachoas with the same concept, these interesting, unique flowers. We have a new one that's coming out called Cali Loco Tiger, which is a new one for us. It's a sort of a gold burgundy kind of, or orange stripy pattern. It's very cool. And it has all the benefits of, modern Calibrachoa. Mm-hmm. Like that's the other caveat is novelty. You don't have to sacrifice plant to get good flower.
Right.
Now, even these unique colors and patterns are on a really well-built chassis. Plants that are just going to perform and flower their brains out in the garden. So Cali Loco Tiger is probably going to be one of our big highlights. we're going to put another focus on the orange, just because since it was such a fast rollout, we wanted to highlight that. Plus, put it into some combinations, so growers have an option for fall. Because
that's cool.
Obviously, orange is an important color for the fall, whether it's Halloween or Thanksgiving. Since it's day length neutral, you can get a much longer season out of it, and so we're mixing it with, reds and yellows and those kind of colors, just to kind of get that fall color palette. And then we have a new series of Calibrachoa that is very grower focused. And I'll just tell you what it's called. We're calling it Cali Baby.
Okay, so compact, tidy.
Yeah. And it's not because I think that's not going to be a solution for everyone. And I think that's a big factor in our current breeding strategy is we don't want to find a one size fits all. We want to breed this size fits you. So if you want a more vigorous Calibrachoa, we have those. Yeah. But if you want a more compact Calibrachoa for high density production or for those combinations that you don't want to get much bigger, we'll have an option for that as well. So we did it with Lobelia, we did it with Verbena, and now we're doing it with Calibrachoa. So I think those are the 3 high points worth mentioning.
Sounds good. I can't wait to see that tiger. That sounds awesome. And really, the whole trial sounds awesome. The location does have a great vibe. I always look forward to going there. You guys have good coffee, good food, and just good people. So this sounds great. I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys in March. And
we're looking forward to having you.
And Bart, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. I hope this helps drive people out to California. It is absolutely worth your time, 100%. Seeing plants is just part of it. It's also the experience, the camaraderie with your fellow growers, and just experiencing springtime in California as well.
Excellent. Well, and now is the time to head over to National Garden Bureau's registration site at caspringtrials.us. You'll find a link in the show notes. Get registered. And really, I think Westhoff's a great example that you're going to want to bring a few people from your team because everyone has a different eye. Someone's going to spot something that you missed, and it's going to be a huge part of your program for coming years. So bring your team, and don't forget to subscribe to the Tech on Demand podcast on your favorite app. That way you will never miss an episode.